Hi everyone, I'm glad you can join me today for some stay-at-home learning. Here we go. Today we're going to be making a spring carrot craft, like this one that I have to show you today. So we'll be making some carrots and crafting them together in this video today. I made 3. I'm going to show you how to make 1, and then you guys can decide how many you'd like to make to put in your bundle. Okay? So for this lesson today, you are going to need these supplies. You'll need tissue paper or newspaper. You're going to need some fabric scraps. I'm using orange and green for mine, or you could use newspaper if you don't have fabric scraps at home. You'll need a glue gun and some glue sticks. You'll also need aluminum foil and some string or twine. So we're going to go ahead and get started today by making the base of our carrots. So for the carrot base, I started with tissue paper. And I'm one of those people who saves all the tissue paper that we get in presents. So this is all recycled, nothing that I bought new. So what I'm going to do is take my tissue paper and I'm just going to start wrapping and twisting it. My goal is to try to form it into the shape of a cone. And you want to twist the inside part fairly tight so that it stays together. And then I'm going to add another piece of tissue to mine. Once again, I'm twisting from the bottom, pointed part of the carrot up towards the top, and then when I have the carrot the length that I want, I'm just starting to wrap that tissue paper back down towards the bottom again. And like I said, you want to twist it fairly tight. And I'm going to add one more piece of tissue paper to mine. Sorry for the moving around here. We'll get this all figured out. Alright, so I'm just continuing to wrap that. I do want my carrot to appear to be kind of thicker towards the top and narrower as it comes down. Now it doesn't have to be shaped perfectly. This is just going to be the filler for the inside of our carrot. Now if you don't have tissue paper at home, newspaper would work fine too. Alright, so once I get my carrot shape, the next thing that I'm going to do is wrap it in aluminum foil. So I'm going to go ahead and tear off a small sheet of aluminum foil. I'm going to place my tissue paper carrot on top of that foil. And then I'm just going to wrap it tightly around my carrot shape, twisting it together so it stays. Then at the top, I'm just going to twist that foil together, and then I'm tearing off the extra that I don't need. Okay, then I'll shape the top of my foil so that it is in a carrot shape. Okay, the extra foil you won't need, so that can go in the trash. Okay, so I'm going to set my foil carrot to the side while I get ready for the next step. You're going to need a small piece of green fabric scrap. Okay, mine is about 4 inches wide, just to give you an idea. Then what you're going to do is tear off small strips of that green fabric. I would say no more than a 1/2 inch wide. So I'm just making some snips about a 1/2 inch wide along my green fabric. And then I'm just going to tear the fabric so it has a rustic rough edge. Alright, when I made my carrots, I'm going to set mine here for you to see. I had approximately 10 strips of green fabric at the top of my carrot. Okay, so approximately 10 pieces. So I'm going to take my pieces and it doesn't matter which side of the fabric is up or down, but I'm going to stack those. I also liked how on one of my carrots, I'm going to turn it to the back side here, this one I mixed in some green burlap that I had just to give it another color. So I think this time I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stack those strips of green fabric and I'm going to mix in a few pieces of the burlap fabric as well. My burlap fabric is green. You could sure use a tan colored burlap if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to stack them so that I have at least 10 pieces. You can have more than 10 if you want. That's fine. Oops. All right. Once I have my fabric strips all stacked up, I took an extra fabric strip that I had torn, and I'm just going to tie those fabric strips together using that piece. So I'm going to leave about an inch at the bottom of my stack of green strips, and then I'm going to tightly tie it so that they hold in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie mine in a knot. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is take that shorter end where I saved about an inch, and I'm just going to pull the fabric pieces to the side. I'm just kind of dividing them out so that they go all the way around and they're not all just, you know, divided half on this side and half on that side. So I've got them all separated. And what I'm going to do is use my glue gun to place some glue on those green strips. And then I'm going to take my foil carrot and I'm just going to stick those green strips right on the thick end of that carrot, right in the center. And that's going to make the top to my carrot. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and come down to the other end of my carrot, and I'm going to cover that with orange fabric. So your orange fabric needs to be at least 22 inches long. It can be longer because we can always cut it off later if it's too long. So I've measured out my orange fabric 1.5 inches wide, and then I'm just going to tear it. I'm not even going to cut it. I'm just going to tear it off of my fabric piece, and then I'm going to begin attaching it to my foil carrot. To do that, at the end of the strip, I'm going to put a dot of hot glue, and then I'm going to take the tip of my carrot and stick it right onto that dot of hot glue. It will take just a minute to adhere. Then I'm going to secure the ends of the fabric around the base of my carrot, or the pointy part of my carrot. So I'm just going to fold that fabric over and glue it in place. I'm going to turn it and do the same thing on the side, and it's okay to fold the fabric a little bit if you need to, but I'm just using hot glue and then folding it down so that it'll stay right there on the tip and that the whole tip of the carrot will be covered with fabric. Okay, so I'm going to turn it and do the same thing over here. Just going to put some hot glue on there and then fold that edge over so that the tip of the carrot is covered. Okay. The next thing is going to be to start wrapping the carrot with our fabric. So I'm going to take my fabric. Let's see, I'm going to come this way with it. And it's okay if your fabric wrinkles a little bit. Mine did that as I was making my other carrots. But you're going to start wrapping it and then just kind of gluing it as you go. So I'm going to put a squirt of glue. Make sure that my beginning is nice and secure. And then I'm just going to start twisting the foil carrot and gluing as I turn it around. Now, the rough edges of your fabric are going to show, the frayed edges. That's what makes it look nice and rustic, so that's fine. That's what we want it to do. And then as you wrap it, you're just going to turn your carrot, add some glue, stick the fabric, turn the carrot again, add some glue. Make sure I'm under the camera. Sorry guys, I'm still learning. Okay, I'm just twisting. If you get some wrinkles in there, that's okay. That's just going to add character to the craft. Crafts are not always perfect. So the goal is to continue doing this until you've wrapped the entire carrot. Just twisting the carrot and gluing down that fabric as you go. I hope everyone has been enjoying their time at home. As much as we all like to get out and about, it is kind of nice to not be on the go all the time. Now, if you end up with any rough edges that are sticking up and they didn't lay down quite as smooth as you hoped, it's no big deal because at the end you can always go back and glue those down if you need to. I'm getting close on mine. All right. As you get towards the top, you're going to notice that you have fabric that's overlapping the green pieces that we glued on earlier. And what we're going to do is just fold the fabric in so that it doesn't cover over the green strips. So I've got my orange fabric pretty secure. So now what I'm going to do, right here up by the green, I'm going to fold my orange fabric in and add a little glue underneath it so that it doesn't cover those green strips. Just going to press it so it stays. Once again, I'm going to turn it. I'm going to secure the glue on both sides of the orange fabric. So I'm going to start with that side, and then on this side by the green strips of fabric, we're just going to fold that in again. And then where we folded it so that they don't cover the green, we'll add some more glue underneath there. Okay, I'm going to just hold it for a minute so it stays in place. Now I do have a low temperature glue gun. If you guys are using a hot temperature glue gun, you're going to want to be careful of your fingers. We don't want anyone getting burned. Alright, so I've made it all the way around my carrot. I'm actually going to trim down my extra fabric. I don't need that much extra to finish it off, so I'm going to cut off the extra that I don't need. And then I'm just going to fold the orange fabric where needed so that it doesn't cover up those leaves. And then on the tag that's sticking up here, the extra fabric, I'm just going to fold it under and glue it around the top until it's secure. Getting just a little bit more right here on the end. Now if you have kind of a messy ending, don't worry there because the green strips will end up covering over that. Okay, so my orange fabric is now, doesn't want to stay there, does it? My orange fabric is now complete. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do with my carrot is take those green strips. I have a little bit of orange fabric that's wrapped around it, so I'm just going to pull those strings off. I'm going to take those green strips and start spreading them out. to give the fluffy green top to my carrot. Okay. Now, when you're done, you can bundle your carrots together. I'll lay mine out for you to see. So I've bundled mine in a group of 3. I used 3 different colors of orange fabric, so it's fine if you want to do that. And then I used just some simple twine or string to tie those together into the bundle. You can bundle them as many as you want. Okay, if you want to make a bigger bundle, that is fine. Some of you may not have fabric at home, and you can still do this project with items that you can find at home. I actually made a similar carrot, trade this one out of just using newspaper. So on this one, what I would recommend is painting your green piece of newspaper first and then cutting it into strips. I used watercolor on mine. Then I cut a strip of newspaper to cover that foil carrot that we started with, and I went back and I used orange watercolor to paint the base of the carrot. Tied on a bow and some ribbon, and then this carrot is another version of the same style of project. I thank you guys for listening in today and joining this craft. I hope that you enjoy making yours. Remember, if you're one of my students, don't forget to post it on Instagram or send it to me in a picture via email or Facebook so that I can see your work. Thanks again. Have a great day.